Sounds of Blackness are Trevor Nelson's urban choice in half an hour. Bit of strong language now on BBC Two as top DJs give the lowdown on Tokyo nightlife. Choice World Clubbing.
Welcome to Tokyo. Now, the Japanese are well known to be a reserved, quiet bunch, but trust me, when it comes to clubbing, they're as mad as the rest of them.
Hip-hop is about to explode in Tokyo.
Youth culture and the street culture in Tokyo is the most diverse and most exciting in the world.
Maybe a 300 or 400 car coming here every Friday.
It's not a party just for lesbians, it's a party for all girls.
Trance here is just beyond, beyond phenomenal.
Dance music has revolutionised world youth culture, and most of the technology comes from this island. It's time now to doff our baseball caps to Japan. Tokyo is a full-on, hyperactive, manic-paced speed city where everything moves at 1,000 miles per hour. It's also a city renowned for its technological advances, and in terms of the global phenomenon of clubbing and dance music, Japanese technology was pivotal. Let's go back to the beginning. In the 70s and 80s, Japanese technology develops drum machines and synthesizers. Microchips are about to transform music. This technology is used by DJs and producers in Chicago to create a brand new sound. Frankie Knuckles plays these new sounds at a club called The Warehouse, and house music is born. Meanwhile, in Britain in the late 80s, Roland drum machines, such as the 303, 808 and 909, are used to create the unforgettable sounds of acid house. The UK goes ballistic with the Hacienda in Manchester leading the way. Acid house becomes front-page news. 3 Japanese drum machines have kick-started a musical revolution, but their creator, Tadao Kikimoto, knew nothing about it.
We had no idea that 303 drum machine would be such an important invention. We never expected people to use the 303 on its own. Then people started experimenting, pushing the machine to its technical limits to create new sounds.
These drum machines were so influential, people even named their bands after them.
The name 808 State came from the 808 drum machine as a sort of badge of identity of we reject conventional instruments and we are a technology band. There was a point in time when everyone was using 808 drum machines and 909 drum machines and 303s, and all these sounds were on everyone's records, which made them join together in a DJ set in a kind of uniformity that was kind of unique at that point in time.
Back in Japan, the creators of this new technology were still completely unaware of the impact it was having overseas.
We didn't know anything about the acid house movement in the UK at the time.
But one man who was certainly in tune with what was happening was Ken Ishii, soon to become the godfather of the Japanese dance scene.
I heard about the acid house, movement in UK. I felt like, finally, the real music scene.
Inspired by events in the UK, Ken Ishii started making his own music in the early 90s.
Really underground scene, was going before 95, but after 95, it got major.
And now, 5 years on, Tokyo truly is a major league party capital.
Hey, welcome to Tokyo, everybody! It's the best city in the whole fucking universe. I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to say that, I guess.
Clubbing in Tokyo is a unique experience. We're lucky to have it.
Drum and bass, house scene, techno, minimal techno, trance. There's parties every weekend, non-stop.
We have, especially in Tokyo, international DJs every week.
There is an intensity here. I think it's because their culture is so extreme and they're so restricted that when they do come out clubbing and when they do go out partying, they go all the way.
It's very well organized also, and sound system's almost the best in the world, I think.
It's a melting pot of sorts for Asia, I'd say. Yeah. I think that's what keeps me staying here after all these years. It's an addiction. You get used to it.
Tokyo's very extreme. It's very, it really is in your face.
Tokyo's so different. Well, it's just the way they are, their mannerisms, the way they act. It's just like, it's just chalk and cheese completely.
It's gadget central. You go to Akihabara and it's just like Blade Runner, and a lot of things are based on technology in Japan. And then to finally go there is a different story.
It's the only city you can see for the moon, so I think that's quite special about Tokyo.
Trance is a worldwide phenomenon, and Tokyo is no exception. Parties here are unbelievable.
We're lucky to have one of the strongest trance scenes in the world, I think, thriving here in Tokyo. We start in, 9 o'clock in the evening and then go to one party, then leave at 4 in the morning and go to the next one, and then after hours until 3 in the afternoon.
The Children of Paradise are a trance band from San Francisco. They've been living in Tokyo since coming to play a gig in the city 8 months ago.
The club scene here in Tokyo just has so much. There's so many clubs, so much going on, lots of diversity.
Well, coming from San Francisco, I felt comfortable right away. I just kind of just melted right in here and fit right in.
The clubs are just open all night. It's a night culture here, and as opposed to places in the States or Europe.
Life in Tokyo is very adventurous. Coming into a new culture altogether that's so much more technical, and polite. It's been really wonderful, actually.
Tonight the boys are off to a trance party, but first a couple of friends drop by for a Children of Paradise speciality, some henna tattoos. Then our trance troupe head off to a pre-club bar.
Going into the year 2001, I think Tokyo is coming into its own identity with its kids and its culture.
The people here are really, for one, open-minded, very accepting.
You could be yourself, you could be a freak, you could be a hippie, whatever you want to be. The culture accepts it. It's cool. Glad you made it to a party.
Suitably warmed up, our trancers take the train to Yokohama, an hour away from Tokyo, where the main course awaits.
The party is fresh, so packed.
Tonight's party was probably one of the better parties I've been to in a while,
Tonight is definitely jumping off. A lot of sweat, a lot of people in the house, a lot of beautiful people, good vibe.
The DJs are good, the music's pumping, everybody's in a good mood. It's a packed house.
One remarkable thing about Tokyo club culture in general, and this night in particular, is that most of the clubbers are drug-free.
The drug culture here is, I think, really minimum because the laws have been so tough here. I don't think Japan's been much of a drug-oriented culture, through its history.
Japan is very, very stringent on its rules. It's a very difficult country in this way. You don't have a lot of human rights, but I think, like any culture, it's about more than the drugs. It's about more than that. I think for the Japanese, it's a feeling of being part of something larger than themselves, something unique, a tribe, a world tribe, yeah. I think the drugs is probably secondary in Japan, unlike Europe or other countries.
I don't think, having a less of a drug culture here makes it any less wild. Actually, I think it's kind of more crazy here because the kids just need some kind of release, and they come to these parties and they don't hold back at all. They'll dance for 18 hours, 20 hours straight,
Whatever you're into, drum and bass, techno, trance, you name it, there's a scene here to match. But the biggest thing in Tokyo at the moment is hip-hop, dreadlocks and all. Hip-hop is rapidly becoming a massive musical force in Japan. Bands like Muro, Ozrasaurus, and Soul Scream shift huge amounts of records. Record stores like Manhattan's and Cisco's have literally hundreds of hip-hop releases, both Japanese and imported. Hip-hop club nights are always rammed, and everywhere you look, the streets are full of hip-hop style.
Hip-hop is about to explode in Tokyo. Hip-hop is like something you live, not only music. It's definitely culture.
The biggest hip-hop star in Japan is Tokyo-born MC Zebra.
Hip-hop in Tokyo, they got like a lot of styles. Like they got stylish rappers, DJs, dancers. Of course, we got graffiti. It's not just happening in Tokyo, and it's also happening, everywhere in Japan.
Hip-hop is not kind of music. Hip-hop is culture.
We don't have like a lot of racial problems, and we don't have a lot of criminal like gunfighting, stuff like that. But we got some problems over here too.
In terms of records, Tokyo hip-hop is a mixture of imported and homegrown music.
Japan is really kind of special position. We have a product from Europe and also from States.
You see a lot of, U.S. artists' records over here, but at the same time, you can find like one of these, like this Muro, like the biggest rapper over here.
Black culture is massive in Tokyo, and one of the best examples of this is hip-hop hairstyles. Flash is Tokyo's most famous hip-hop hairdressers.
In the past, there's a very limited knowledge of black culture, but recently things have changed. For example, MTV from America transmit here in Japan. And as black culture is introduced in various ways to our culture, people like these here think it's great. I find that having dreadlocks is a great way of expressing myself.
In terms of clubs, the most happening hip-hop night in Tokyo is Harlem.
Now what you hear is not a test, I'm rapping to the beat. And me, the groove, and my friends are gonna try to move your feet.
Another major part of the Tokyo hip-hop scene is breakdancing, with crews battling almost every weekend in Yoyogi Park, the Tokyo equivalent of Central Park. But if you want to see breakdancing at its very best, check this out. Spartanic Rockers were the world-breaking champions in 1998 and again in 1999. The Tokyo hip-hop scene is massive, and rappers like Zebra are trying to make it original.
We've seen the history in the US, how it got fucked up, you know what I'm saying? So we know, what's right and what's wrong. So we just trying to figure out how we can just keep it real and how we can make it big.
Women in Japan have traditionally been viewed as subservient playthings. They're largely for the benefit and entertainment of men. The geisha is one of the most powerful female images in the modern world. However, things are beginning to change. Mari, Miku and Regina are go-go dancers. Tonight they'll be dancing as Bond girls at a club night called Goldfinger. The girls won't be entertaining men, however, because Goldfinger is a party for women only. First stop, Tokyo's most glamorous clubwear boutique. Next up, it's time for some new nails.
Goldfinger is a once-in-a-month event for women only. It's for all women. It's a very sexy environment, and as Bond girls, we are supposed to dance and entertain.
I love Goldfinger party, and I love dancing the stage.
Tonight is my first night being a Bond girl. I've been longing to become a Bond girl for ages now, so I'm really looking forward to this evening.
The girls stop off for a pre-club drink at another recent arrival on the Tokyo scene, a women-only bar. Then it's time to hit the club and get ready for the wild night to come. While the girls get ready backstage, the punters are streaming in, and soon it's time to make a grand entrance.
I think in every woman there is a desire to be sexy and to be appreciated, and this is the place to be.
This is only once a month thing, and I mean, you can go crazy and then you don't have to worry about anything, you know.
This is the only event of its kind in the whole of Japan. No one worries about anything here. It's just about having fun.
Dancing sexy in a regular club, you usually get very vulgar stares or comments, but here it's not like that.
I've danced in front of a maid audience before, but because I love dancing so much, it doesn't make any difference to me who is in the audience.
It's just a party for women who enjoy women's company, that's all. I mean, I'm sure there are maybe 30 or 40% they're lesbian, but even women who married or who has a boyfriend, they come to Goldfinger just for enjoy women's company.
There are women who fancy women and women who fancy men, but none of that really matters. Whatever your preference, it's about having fun and feeling free.
I know just what you're thinking, lads, but tonight really is just for the ladies.
The city looks like a set scene out of Blade Runner. It's just like neon lights everywhere, tiny little small cars which don't make a noise.
They're just really clever people, aren't they? They're always sort of like coming up with really cool things, you know, and that's what I like about that place.
I mean, it's probably the coolest place in the world, Tokyo. And the clubs are brilliant.
Tokyo, I love it because I'm the tallest person there, which for me is great. I go clubbing and there was only 2 people taller than me, and they were transvestites.
If you thought clubbers in England were trendy, think again. This city is home to some of the biggest fashion freaks in the world.
Tokyo is the most fashionable city in the world at the moment. It has this like speed culture. Everything has to be changing constantly, so quickly. Fashion and clubbing is very closely related here.
There are 3 current clubbing trends in the city. First of all, there's Para Para. Para Para is a Tokyo clubbing phenomenon with its own truly distinctive style.
They've got bleached hair and very thick makeup, and they have like very high platform shoes.
Almost all Japanese girls wear these boots because they make them look taller and accentuate their style.
The next current clubbing trend is trance fashion.
Trance fashion is, they have all these gadgets, and there are lots of neons on their clothes and on their hair. They have lots of accessories.
But perhaps the biggest and most commercial scene at the moment is street fashion.
This street fashion in Tokyo, you have hysteric glamour, you have super lovers.
Street fashion is massive in Japan at the moment, with music at the center of the scene. Street labels are really popular with the many fashionable people in the Tokyo club scene.
It's quite normal that you see, like, for example, super lovers like having their own nights in a club. They're organizing, they're inviting like all these major superstar DJs.
Enjoy the silence.
Most underground fashion labels, like the small shops, started by targeting young people and gradually get bigger and bigger. I think there's a connection there, as they target people who go clubbing, and obviously the labels are aiming at clubbers by throwing these kind of parties.
Perhaps the best people to ask about clubbing fashions are the guys on the front line, the club doorman.
Tokyo is number 1. When you think about Tokyo, you definitely think about fashion is definitely number 1.
Fashion is very, very important in Japan, especially in Tokyo.
They'll have it within a month after it hits back home wherever it originated from. Japanese are just unbelievable about that.
But if you want to see clubbing fashion at its best, check out a club night with a fashion show.
In my opinion, youth culture and the street culture in Tokyo is the most diverse and most exciting in the world.
I think in Tokyo they are the best clubs in the world because everybody's so stylish. I think it's the most stylish country in the whole world.
The pace of life here is very fast. So everyone they live fast, they work fast, and they play fast, and they dress suits that.
We always come out clubbing to events like this about once a month. We love it.
Clubs in Tokyo are the trendiest club in the world. I mean, you can see amazing things. Tokyo now and Japan has its own identity and style, which wasn't the case before. They had a tendency to copy the rest of the world, and now they've actually come up with their own style, which is unique.
Fashion show over, it's time to party.